In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my rigs and my setup for big catfish. We just did a giveaway, and that's actually posted till July 4th. So that giveaway is a Mad Catz Micro Burkhardt rod with the piston fin reel. Completely free. All you have to do is the rules in the description. That's it. Now, this reel right here, Walmart reel, Catfish Pro, right? Don't waste your money on it. If you're going to try and catch big catfish, you're better off going with the piston fin on Amazon. They have all kinds of different ones on there. They're pretty cheap. This Catfish Pro is the one you see me catch that 43-pound flathead on. And personally, I don't like them. I have a Mad Catz reel I got from Mad Catz. This one here, I won this one through their weekly program for big catfish and whatnot. The only thing I do not like about this reel is the drag's 25 pounds. And I mean, you get in a snag or whatever, it's hard to break off. But anyway, I'll start off with what line I use, and I'll go from there. So pretty much, I used to fish with like spider wire, all that stuff you get from Walmart, whatnot. And I will say, by far, Beyond Braid is my favorite. So this is the difference. This is Power Pro from Walmart. This stuff, I mean, you can even tell just by looking at the end right here. Rocks and stuff do not like that. Power Pro works, but I wouldn't recommend it. This line has been on this reel the same time this line has been on this reel. Probably about a few months worth of time. This line's already started to fade, and it starts just fraying, and you get weird spots in it. And when you cast, sometimes it'll bird nest. Like, look at this line. I wouldn't trust a fish on that. But anyway, this line will get all bird nested in there, and it'll be just an absolute disaster trying to get it out. Power Pro, you get this, or that's Power Pro. So this is the Beyond Braid. This is the camo version Beyond Braid, and it hasn't started to fade. It looks super nice, super tight on the reel. It doesn't bird nest as bad. If it does bird nest, super easy to get out. There's like super, I mean, it's super strong line. This is the 80-pound test, and I've never had issues with it ever cutting on rocks. I mean, I could pull a whole tree out of the water. I could pull your boat. Basically, for big catfish, you could use an ugly stick. I'm not going to hate on ugly sticks. I think ugly sticks are great rods, and they're cheap and affordable. But personally, I just prefer, you know, Mad Catz or Catch the Fever rods. Any of those are pretty good rods. So anyway, I'm going to start off with what I use for hooks. And for big catfish, when I'm going with big baits and whatever, obviously match the size of the hook to the bait. Those are too big. I use a 4-aught circle hook for catching sharks in the ocean. Yeah, you might, but guess what? I don't care.
We do not care.
Circle hooks, I'll tell you. My opinion is when the fish bites it, right? You're not setting the hook with a circle hook. The thing is, you want them to kind of run off with it and hook themselves, because like you're not going to hook a big 40, 50, 60-pound flathead or whatever else. You're not going to hook them in the that plate of like sandpaper, you know. You're not going to get them in the front of the mouth. It's always going to be the side of the mouth. That's what you want to hook into. So when you take one of these hooks and you rig it up, you know, what's going to happen is they're going to bite the bait, right? And you're going to hope that they turn their head and try to run off with it. And what's going to happen is that hook is going to get bit, and then it's going to turn and say like this is the front of the catfish's mouth. They're going to bite that, and then you want it to turn and come into the side of their mouth and hook them. And honestly, you know, just match them to the size of whatever bait you're using and whatnot. That's going to be your best hookup ratio. That's how it's worked for me anyway. We've missed a lot of bites on smaller hooks and stuff like that. As soon as I switch to bigger hooks, that smaller bite thing doesn't really happen as much. I mean, a small channel or something biting, whatever. But if it's a big catfish, more than likely you're going to get them hooked. But anyway, so I'll kind of show you my rigging setup here. I'll do a little rig. So I'm using 100-pound test mono by Whisker Seeker. So the reason why I use mono for the from the Mainline to the end, I'm going to be using, you know, braid. That's what I like. And then from your Mainline to your mono, and then What I use is I use these barrel swivels. You can get them on Mad Cats or Amazon. I mean, I get a lot of my stuff from Amazon. And above that mono, above this barrel swivel, I'm using a sinker slide. Now, my opinion on sinker slides is I think basically it lets the tension out of the line, allows the bait to freely kind of do its thing and look natural. So when a big cat comes up and bites that hook, I think like basically you're allowing the line to slip through here. So you're not having all that tension on there. So he's gonna take it and he's gonna be like, oh dude, I just got you a big bluegill. And then you're like, okay. And then he's gonna take it and he's gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I want it? I don't know. And then he's gonna be like, yeah, I want it. And then he's gonna take off with it. And then that's when he's gonna pull your line tight and he's gonna get that hook set right in the corner of his mouth. So basically what I do is I'll take a good section of line, right? About 12 whatever inches, it doesn't really matter. The more the better, so that way you can get your knots all tied up properly and whatnot. And then you're just gonna cut it maybe. There we go. Alrighty. So basically you're gonna just cut that, right? And then tie it to the end of your barrel swivel. I just use a simple knot, it doesn't really matter. It won't slip out. I've caught all kinds of trees and stuff with it and pulled the trees out of the water with this knot. Seems to work pretty good. Just make sure I got plenty of line here. Wrap around 6 to 8 times. Pull that tight, and then you're going to take your circle hook, and you can add beads and whatever on here. So you can add beads or whatever on here. Personally, I do like using these. I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference, but if you're allowing your bait to swim around down there, especially a bullhead, they like to go crazy. I just think this adds a little bit more vibration or whatever to the water. So I'll put that through first, and then I'll take my hook. You could add beads to these or whatever. Keep it from your hook knot. Let's see. I'll add one of these guys. You could add them on both sides. I'll just do that real quick. Just kind of protect your knot a little bit. And then from your circle hook, I tie a snell. So what I do is I'll come in the front of the hook through the eye, bring it down, and then I know there's another way to do it, but I can't remember how to do that one exactly. Kobe knows how to do that one. Basically, I'll just wrap around 6 to 8 times, hold my little loop down there, and then put it back through that loop. And this is key for big catfish. This knot allows it to pull it into the corner of their mouth. So it's kind of like when you're setting it, it's going to allow that hook to, when you pull on it, it's going to pull it into their mouth, is what you want. Now, I always cut my tag ends off. So, main line to the barrel swivel. And on that main line, I'll have a sinker slide on there with one of my beads to protect the knot. And then, depending upon what body of water you're in, I like to use 5 ounce weights. 5 ounce weights seem to work pretty good, depending upon what current you're in. You know, if you're fishing a lake, I would personally add a float to this, especially with cut bait. Keep that bait up off the bottom, but I don't fish lakes, so I fish river systems where you have a lot of current, so that current's kind of pushing that bait up off the bottom anyway. But yeah, this is basically the best setup you could use for big cats, because it just allows it really allows, when you cast some of the rocks and stuff, you know, this will take most of the rub around rocks and whatever else, and I haven't had any issues with it. And if it starts looking like it's getting a little bit of frays and whatnot, abrasions in it, then you can just change it out, put a new one on. But so personally, I think this is the best setup you could use for catching big cats. I mean, you probably could go with tying your braid to the hook and doing it that way, but this also allows your sinker slide to stay up away from your hook, and that's my best setup that I've learned. You don't need to go out and spend a bunch of money on hooks and whatnot. I got these ones on Amazon. Nothing crazy. You just got to be careful on what kind of hooks you get, because some of them will straighten out. We've had hooks straighten out. We've had a hook snap, and you don't want that because you're missing fish. So, like, I use this Mad Cat's rod. I mean, this one's a smaller hook, depending upon what size of bait you're using. I was using creek chubs, so that's what I was using. This is my float that I use in the river systems. This is what the same exact setup I caught that 43-pound flathead on, except if you guys paid attention to that last video, I had this reel on, and this reel gave up on me. And I could say, I mean, maybe it's a sand, maybe it got beat up, maybe something. But either way, if I would have lost that fish, I would have been very upset. So I do not go by Catfish Pro. I'm sure they have some good reels, but by far, I think you're going to be better off with Mad Cats or Piscifin, or there's all kinds of different reels out there. Abu Garcias. I will tell you that I didn't think much about our Abu Garcias until my buddy got one, Kobe, and Louis has one, I believe, also. And after seeing those reels, by far, I think Abu Garcias are slept on. So, I mean, the Mad Cats, yeah, they look all fancy and whatnot. I don't know much about them, but they seem to reel pretty good. I like the handle on it. It does its job. So, yeah, basically, pull this up right here. Sinker slide to barrel swivel to 100 pound mono, float, circle hook. Circle hooks all the way, dude. Now this one, here's my bumping rod. I haven't got it set up yet. That's what this Beyond Braid's for. I'm gonna be using this to bump on the Missouri. I kind of ordered a cheap Amazon reel, just to try it out. I was gonna go with Piscifin, but I've never heard of this brand, and so I figured I'd give it a shot. This certain rod is just made for bumping, that's it. I mean, it's super light, well balanced, super great rod. I think it was like 130 bucks from Anchoring and Council Bluffs. I don't know, using Mad Cat's rods, you know, Hellcats, Catch a Fever rods, all those, by far are my favorite rods. Especially, you know, you ever catch a state record, you're getting 25 grand. So, yeah, I mean, you invest in yourself, and if you ever end up catching a monster, there's a possibility for some money on the other side. So every time I order through Mad Cats or anything like that, I always keep their bags. You save yourself some time on the riverbank. Take these, stick it straight in the bag. Stick it in the bag. You got literally the most easiest access, keeping them tangle free. I mean, you can even do this with Ziploc baggies, but I just keep all these bags, and then you got pre-tied rigs ready to go. Stick it in a Ziploc bag, keep them all nice and whatever together. I got bumping rigs in there, I got bank fishing rigs in there, and ready to go. Tackle bags are a thing of the future. Tackle boxes are a thing of the past. This right here, best thing in the world. Keep your hands free as you're carrying all your stuff down to the riverbank. Throw all this in there. Keep all your pre-tied rigs up top. All your line can be up there. Your circle hooks. Shoot, headlamps. And take down rod holders, fit in the sides perfectly. I mean, look at that. That's like almost made for it. Bass Pro Shop bag, I can't remember, it's like 100 bucks. Way worth it. But if you're walking down a riverbank and you got to carry a tackle box full of weights, hooks, whatever. You got 2 rods in your hand, bait bucket, who knows, a drink for whatever you want to drink. This keeps your hands free. You can carry 2 rods in one hand, drink in the other. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for more videos. We're going to be catching more fish this summer for sure. We've been doing pretty good so far. If you guys are new to this channel and you guys want to start watching some of our videos, see what we've been doing, seeing our setups, the fish we're catching, you know, just go through our videos, watch some of them. And we appreciate it. Peace!